The officials of the Department of Transportation and Xiamen Airlines faced the investigation of the Senate on the NAIA runway mishap of China Airlines. According to DOTR Secretary Arthur Tugade, they will ask the Xiamen Airlines to pay the damage and lost opportunities caused by the incident. Nel Marie Bohok will tell us why.
I am deeply sorry for the inconveniences caused by the incident. I apologize to all our kababayans.
Department of Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade reiterated his apologies to the passengers affected by the runway mishap of Xiamen Airlines in Ninoy Aquino International Airport last August 16. According to the Secretary, the probe is ongoing and they will urge the Chinese airlines to pay damages caused by the accident.
Ang amin hong posisyon, hindi lang ho yung danyos na aktwal. Kailangan ho, kagaya ng sinabi niya Madam Chair, isama yung lost opportunities.
The airlines company meanwhile assures its cooperation in the investigation.
Xiamen Airlines would like to express its regret for the inconvenience.
During the hearing, the senators questioned the efforts of the Manila International Airport Authority to remove the aircraft.
Overtime hanggang umaga, sobrang ako ang problema ng area. The place is muddy, may laman hong 4 tons of fuel.
The alleged voice recording of the conversation between the air traffic controller and the pilot of Xiamen was also played in the hearing. They noticed that the almost 1-minute gap in the communication coming from the pilot before the runway mishap incident. But according to CAAP, this said conversation was not yet authenticated and is still under investigation.
667 runway heading 4,000.
Wrong heading 4,000, 667.
Summary 667 request reason.
Second,
What's reason for going around, sir?
go wrong at 766,
This is an irresponsible reproduction of what truly happened.
CAAP's Aerodrome Division Chief, however, said that there is indeed a gap of communication of the Xiamen pilot.
Expected po kasi natin kapag 2 minutes after na ibigay yung landing clearance, dapat lalapag na siya. Pero po nung time na yon, visually nawala siya, wala na rin pong radio contact.
Singson said this gap prompted them to immediately call for assistance from the Safety Patrol of MIAA to check the runway. The Safety Patrol eventually saw the aircraft in the runway. According to Secretary Tugade, the government's efforts to decongest the Manila airport terminals, particularly the construction and rehabilitation of airports, continue. According to Senator Grace Poe, the DOTR and MIAA was remiss of their duties in the said incident.
Pero marami sa amin na nakakita na talagang malaking pagkakamali ng management ng airport at ng DOTR. Sa kanilang manggagaling kung magkakaroon ng gate changes, kung sino ang mga papasok na mga flights.
The Senate committee asked MIAA to submit their standard protocol whenever same accidents occur in the runway. The committee also asked the DOTR the details and the timeline of their infrastructure projects. Nel Marie Bohok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno assures the Philippine government will be very diligent in all agreements it will enter with China ahead of President Xi Jinping's visit to the country this year. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
The Department of Budget and Management tells media that at least 10 loan agreements are expected to be signed between the Philippines and China during President Xi Jinping's visit to the country in November. Though no mention has been made on the amount of these deals, Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno notes these are in line with the infrastructure projects of the Duterte administration.
Some have already been signed, okay? But the rest, I think they're reserving it for November when the president comes here, President Xi Jinping.
The budget official also clarifies that for each loan agreement made with China, the Philippine government will choose among the 3 best contractors China has vetted on for every project. Diokno also assures the Philippine government will be diligent enough for every agreement it will enter with China.
So we ask them, you vet your own 3 best contractors per project. So some are good in bridges, some are good in railway, some are good in roads. So they will do the vetting, and from the 3 we will choose. Okay? Of course, we will exercise due diligence cross-check them with the World Bank, ADB, etc.
Jokno also reports that China will announce in November other funding assistance for the country. Prior to President Xi's state visit to the Philippines, he will first attend an APEC summit in Papua New Guinea. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The Philippine National Police orders target hardening measures as it places Mindanao under a full alert status after a blast in Insulan, Sultan Kudarat that killed 2 and injured 35 others. Leia Ilagan tells us why.
The Philippine National Police has canceled the leaves and day offs of all its personnel in Mindanao following the declaration of full alert status after a blast in Sultan Kudarat. The improvised bomb exploded at past 8 p.m. during the Hamungaya Festival, which celebrates the founding anniversary of Isulan Town, killing 2 and wounding 35 others. PNP is also mobilizing its forces in the region to implement increased checkpoint operations and intelligence gathering as part of target hardening measures.
Yung kanilang O-plan sita, kailangan talagang paigtingin ng and hindi lang yan, pati yung sinasabi nga natin yung to preempt these kinds of incidents ay yung kailangan din paigtingin natin yung intelligence gathering.
PNP Director General Oscar Albayalde says the full alert status will remain until the martial law declared in Mindanao ends in December 2018. The PNP chief also says they are treating the incident as terror attack because the bomb was hidden under a motorcycle park in a crowded street. The Turaifi group that allegedly pledged allegiance with Islamic State militants has claimed responsibility for the explosion.
We believe, yes, it could be a terror attack, although it's still being investigated. With that magnitude, syempre, hindi naman accidental yan, talagang pinlano yan.
Malacanang has strongly condemned the bombing in Sultan Kudarat. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque said in a statement that a thorough investigation is underway, vowing to bring the perpetrators of a brazen attack to justice. Leia Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue, Kamkrame.
Malacanang is mulling over the possibility of extending the martial law imposition in Mindanao following a deadly blast in Insulan, Sultan Kudarat. Grace Casin tells us why.
Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea confirms that they are looking to extend the implementation of martial law in Mindanao region. This is in light of the recent blast in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat that claimed 2 lives and injured over 30 others. President Rodrigo Duterte first imposed martial law in Mindanao on May 23, 2017 after a multi-terrorist group attacked the city of Marawi and attempt to establish a caliphate there. But Duterte later asked the Congress to extend the martial law rule in the southern region until the end of 2018.
It's an option, but nandiyan yun, we're trying to make it as easy as possible na walang but kung ganito pa rin ang nangyayari, anong gagawin natin? Upulan tayo dyan.
But Vice President Robredo disagrees with the idea, saying the government should first give an assurance that extending martial law for the second time is the ultimate solution.
Kung ang pagbabasehan kasi yung mga nakaraang pangyayari, pinapakita na hindi epektibo yung martial law sa pagsugpo nito.
Even the leadership of the Senate believes there is no need to extend the martial law.
Maaga pang maisip yan. Baka naman within a month or two, resolve na yung mga nangyari dun. So hindi pa siguro.
Bayan Muna Party List Representative Carlos Zarate meanwhile surmises that failure of intelligence might have caused the incident, which was promptly denied by the Philippine National Police.
Isang posible talaga rito yung failure ng intelligence gathering na ating
Well, it's not necessarily failure, Your Honor. It's because sometimes even if we have this effort on intelligence gathering, talagang kuminsan po talaga nakakalusot, Your Honor.
Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Vice President Leni Robredo appeals to the House Committee on Appropriations to restore the funds that were slashed from the 2019 proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President. The OVP initially requested to have a 549 million pesos budget for the next year, but were only appropriated over 447 million by the Budget Department. Robredo says poor families being assisted by her Angat Buhay project would suffer if the budget is not restored.
Alam naman natin na yung Angat Buhay Airs, ito yung pinakamahihirap. Ito yung pinakamahihirap na mga lugar. At yung livelihood subsidies, ngayong taon, yun sana yung pang-fill namin sa gap. Na pag walang private partner na merong programa para sa isang pangangailangan, yun yung ginagamit. So pag inalis yun for next year, babalik kami doon sa 2016 saka 2017 na entirely dependent kami on private sector support.
The Department of Agriculture and the National Food Authority are currently studying the possibility of establishing a rice trading center in Zamboanga City, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. Ray Pelayo tells us why.
The Department of Agriculture estimates that about 200,000 metric tons or 4 million sacks of rice from Vietnam and Thailand are being shipped by smugglers in Zamboanga City, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi or Sambasulta every year. Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol says smuggling in the said area is causing the government to lose 2 billion pesos worth of revenues that end up in the pockets of corrupt officials. Smuggled rice has also made its way to Central Visayas, which threatens local farmers in Mindanao who are losing farm hands. The secretary adds that the government intensified anti-smuggling campaign caused the dwindling of rice supply in Sambasulta, which resulted in the price hike. In order to curb smuggling in Sambasulta, the DA and the National Food Authority are currently studying the establishment of a rice trading center.
Basically, they agree that, those smugglers there should be paying taxes to the government, become legal suppliers of rice for the region.
Zambasulta is only able to harvest 10% of their annual rice requirement of 201,000 metric tons. The NFA is also currently processing the permit for private importation of 132,000 metric tons of rice through minimum access volume. These will be allocated to affected areas only. Loans given to farmers through Production Loan Easy Access are also expected to boost rice production. Ray Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
DTI is set to meet with traders to hear their explanation on why the intermediary cost is high on basic goods. Monokson will tell us why.
A letter of inquiry was given to traders by the Department of Trade and Industry for them to explain the high intermediary cost of basic goods. This week, the DTI will meet with traders to investigate on their intermediary costs.
Yung mga traders na to will have to abide by yung isa-set nating polisiya na tamang markup lang mula sa farm gate up to the retailers.
Recently, the DTI discovered that high prices in the market is linked with the high intermediary costs imposed by middlemen. Even a consumer group believes that this is also one of the reasons. In an investigation conducted by Laban Consumer, they found out that there are many intermediary layers imposed on prices of vegetables and agri-products. This include the disposers, consolidators, middlemen, and wholesalers. According to DTI and Laban Consumer, removing the intermediary layers can be a big help to consumers, especially now that prices are consistently increasing. In Quezon City, the province of Ilocos Norte partnered with the local government to help consumers cope with the rising prices of commodities. All products are from the producers and available directly to consumers.
Mas mura kaysa palengke, tsaka sariwa. Bibili kami kasi parang galing sa probinsya, di ba? Parang sariwa, yung mga ganyan. Kasi pag dito masyado nang matagal na nag-travel.
Farmer Gerardo Gawat said they've already given up planting vegetables. But because of the help of the government, they can now sell their produce directly to consumers. Farmers admit that the presence of traders or middlemen is one of the reasons why the prices of their produce go up. They no longer have control of the prices once they send their produce to these people.
Kung sa presyo dun sa amin, talagang mas mababa. Yung lang mga middleman ang nakikinabang.
The DTI said they will appeal to the traders to lower their intermediary costs. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Duterte administration continues to urge the Congress to pass the remaining bills seeking economic reforms despite the backlash against the first package of the tax reform for acceleration and inclusion or TRAIN law. Rosalie Cos explains why.
The Philippine Constitution mandates the government to first identify the source of funding for its proposed expenses. Thus, Budget Secretary Benjamin Jokno says the Congress should pass the tax reform packages of the Duterte administration to provide supplemental budget for certain projects, particularly of agencies which budgets are slashed for the year 2019.
Because we need funding, right? The Constitution is very clear. The Treasurer has to certify sources of funding, or in the supplemental budget itself, you will identify those sources of funding which may come from the tax measures.
This means that in the remaining days prior to the election period, if a supplemental budget will be requested for a particular project, the remaining tax reform measures of the administration must be approved first. These are namely Package 1B, 2, 2+, 3, and 4.
Let them do the tax reform measures first, okay? So we have a basis for a supplemental budget.
Meanwhile, Secretary Jokno confirms the economic managers and House leaders have agreed to have a transitory cash-based budgeting system for 2019. Under the said program, the payment period is further extended to 3 to 6 months from the original proposal to provide a budget for implementable projects in just one fiscal year.
And we agreed that we will have a transitory cash-based program. In other words, under the cash-based program, there will be a 15-month period, 1 whole year, plus an extended payment period of 3 months.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Around 411 people died of dengue fever this year, according to the record of the Department of Health. From January to August 11, more than 81,000 dengue cases were recorded, which the agency attributes to previous days of non-stop rains. DOH also notes that the cases of leptospirosis doubled this August, reaching over 2,000. The agency hopes to lower these cases through its wider information dissemination that aims to make the public more aware of ways to prevent dengue and leptospirosis.
I hope it does not, the increase will not be too high. In 2014, 15, 16, the dengue cases reached 200,000 plus. So we hope that this will be way below that. The effective campaign against dengue using the traditional 4S methodology.
The lower house approves on second reading House Bill number 4113 that seeks to expand paid maternity leave to 100 days. The proposed measure, which covers female employees in both government and private sectors, also allows the extension of the maternity leave by 30 days without pay. Under the current maternity law, pregnant employees are entitled to 60 days of paid maternity leave for a normal childbirth and 78 days for a cesarean delivery. In other news, the Quezon City government is set to hold a mega job fair on August 31, Friday. Applications will be accepted beginning at 8:30 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon at the Quezon City Hall. 21 participating companies are looking for factory workers, technicians, labor workers, and team leaders, among others. Interested job seekers are advised to bring extra copies of their resumes, biodata with recent photo, and other requirements.
Nagkakanta kami ng job fair para mabigyan natin ng pagkakataon makapaghanap ng trabaho yung mga fresh graduate at saka yung mga gumraduate last year na until now hindi pa rin nakapaghanap ng trabaho.
5 DPWH officials are facing administrative and criminal charges over bribery complaints. JL Asayo will tell us why.
5 officials of the Department of Public Works and Highways are being investigated because of the alleged anomaly and illegal transactions with the contractor. They were identified as District Engineer Roberto Nicolas, Tess Orquia, Engineer Melody M. Dominguez, Engineer Luisito Ponancho, and Vilma Gomez. The inquiry began after the Office of the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission received an anonymous report and video pertaining to the said illegal transactions.
157.
The video showed an asset posing as a contractor is giving them 4 million pesos as initial payment to a 20 million agreed standard operating procedure or SOP as a guarantee for a win in the bidding and secure the DPWH projects. The contractor was vying for a 70 million peso steel parking project. The PACC has completed its probe on the involvement of the DPWH Pasig's district engineers and other employees on the said SOP. This SOP has been a long-term practice in the DPWH and is known to be an open secret to the public.
We will immediately act and we'll investigate and file charges and suspend those involved in this anomalous transaction.
The PACC has shown the video to President Rodrigo Duterte.
Galit na galit po. Kaya sabi ko kung pwede lang patayin, papatayin na namin to. So, kaya nga sabi niya, release nyo na yan.
The PACC further recommended that a lifestyle check be conducted against the said individuals and submit the case to the DPWH and Ombudsman for the filing of appropriate administrative and criminal charges. JL Asayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Department of Public Works and Highways is putting in extra hours and equipment amid the ongoing major infrastructure projects of the government. Joan Nano tells us why.
Public Works and Highways Secretary Mark Villar visited the Otis Bridge in Paco, Manila earlier to personally check on its repair status. The 50-year-old bridge was closed to vehicular traffic since June 26, 2018 due to damaged portion on its beams that support the bridge. It was initially scheduled to reopen by March 2019, but Secretary Villar wants repairs to be done before December to avoid snarling traffic due to holiday rush. To date, only 40% of the repairs has been completed. And though they hope to fast-track the construction, Villar assures that the quality of work and safety of motorists will not be compromised.
Mas matibay po itong bridge dahil meron ng mga board piling. Definitely, in terms of strength, this was seismic rated na po itong bridge and very resilient. So we can expect that aside from being resilient, na-widen pa siya.
The DPWH also hopes to retrofit 36 other bridges in Metro Manila in the following years but clarifies a schedule will be put in place to avoid heavy traffic.
Pagdating sa Metro Manila, hindi pwedeng sabay-sabay yung construction ng mga bridges at tinatimingan po namin para hindi naman masyadong mabigat ang epekto sa traffic.
The agency is also looking to fast-track the completion of some major infrastructure projects this year to ease the expected holiday traffic. Villar says workers are currently putting in extra hours and equipment to finish the NLEX Segment 10 and Laguna Lake Highway projects before the end of December.
I'm very optimistic na pag natapos itong mga projects, lalo pa yung binanggit ko po kanina, yung Laguna Lake Highway at yung, dito, if we're talking Metro Manila, mababawasan din yung traffic. Tingin ko makakatulong din itong mga projects dahil ito po ay major projects.
Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board has distributed around 2,000 fuel vouchers to assist jeepney operators and drivers affected by rising fuel prices. LTFRB targets to distribute the fuel vouchers to more than 179,000 beneficiaries by next month. LTFRB Chairman Martin Delgra also urges gasoline stations to take part in the government project by becoming participating petroleum retail outlets. The official also reminds beneficiary jeepney operators and drivers to rightfully use the fuel vouchers or suffer invalidation and sanctions from the program.
The use of the card has to be consistent with the program. And the way to monitor the program is that you are to use that in the participating gas stations for buying fuel. As mentioned in the law, it is for fuel purchases only.
Health Secretary Francisco Duque III denies reports he announced the public to avoid buying imported round scad or galunggong. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
The public should no longer worry in buying imported galunggong or round scad once it hits the market starting September. This is because the Department of Health has denied that they were the one who officially released the report, warning the public to avoid buying imported galunggong because it contains formalin. According to Secretary Francisco Duque III, they are not the proper authority that announces whether a food should not be consumed by the public.
Wala naman kaming ganun, babala. Hindi na pwedeng manggaling sa amin yan. Babala na yan, usually mula sa Department of Agriculture. Mandato po ng DA sila ang magbigay ng sapat na impormasyon patungkol po sa mga sariwang pagkain, isda, karne. Tayo po naman sa FDA at DOH, mga processed food, yung mga nakabote, nakalata.
Duque added that they can help in conducting any investigation once the Department of Agriculture proves that a certain food contains formalin. DOH also avoids creating a panic to the public, especially when an information is not confirmed.
As of now, there are no reports, so I don't think it has posed any threat directly or indirectly to public health.
The DOH reminds the public to confirm and validate with them any information or data they will receive to prevent adding up to the confusion by sharing wrong information. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources once again reminds the public that they have not seen traces of formalin from samples of galunggong collected from Balintawak Market, Cubao Farmers Market, and the Navotas Fish Port. According to Undersecretary Eduardo Gongona, they will thoroughly examine imported galunggong before it goes to the market.
Hindi yung papayagan ng mga ahensya na nagpapatupad ng Food Safety Act na mayroong magkakarating sa wet market sa amin na isda na kontaminado at makakasira sa ating kalusugan.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Parañaque City.
Meanwhile, the plight of a lonely dolphin and some penguins in a Japanese aquarium has sparked a public outcry. Joan Nano tells us why.
Animals activists have sparked calls on Tuesday for a marine park to take responsibility in the plight of a lonely dolphin and dozens of penguins that have been abandoned in a derelict aquarium in Japan since the start of the year. The operator of the Inubasaki Marine Park Aquarium in the city of Choshi in Chiba Prefecture, just east of Tokyo, shut down the facility in January, citing decline in visitors after the 2011 earthquake and nuclear crisis.
The aquarium had already shut down and has no income. I don't know how long they can keep on looking after the animals there.
The female bottlenose dolphin, nicknamed Honey, was captured in 2005 near Taiji, a western port town that has become notorious for its annual dolphin hunt that was featured in the Oscar-winning 2009 documentary The Cove. Honey and 46 penguins along with hundreds of fish and reptiles remain at the aquarium. Employees have continued feeding the animals regularly.
I think dolphins staying like this, without swimming, affects their mental health badly.
Still, the incident triggered protests this week with activists and ordinary Japanese alike calling for the animals to be moved to new homes. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue.